Is it the Enneagram?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. So we did that.
That's a really good tool.
Yeah. So we did that one.
Yeah.
What does that entail? I mean, what is?
It's a lot of, there's 9 categories into which people fall, and it has a lot to do with how you work with other people and how you view the world. It's been around for centuries actually.
Oh.
It's a really good tool. It's really interesting. It's much better than the Myers-Briggs, which is just 4 personality types. This is 9 different personality types. Yeah, there's people who use it extensively. Yeah, it's really, really good.
Yeah, so we worked a lot.
It's good for teams to do.
Yeah,
so you learn how and why people are acting the way they do. Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly why we worked with it.
It's much better than most personality tests. It's easier to do, but you learn a lot about each other when you do that in a group.
Yeah. Yeah. So we took that test and then we went through and they gave us like breakdowns of each. It's like 9 different personalities, and they gave us breakdowns of each of those so that we could understand better. And so we all knew what our personality was, and so we shared it with our group, and based on that, we kind of.
Were you surprised at your personality?
I honestly don't remember. To be completely honest. I don't remember. I think I felt like mine was reversed. So it's like you get your main one and then you get like a secondary one sometimes, and I felt like mine should have been reversed, if I remember correctly.
There's a type you are normally, and then type like within a stressful situation, you operate a little bit differently than you normally do so that's the kind of thing that's helpful about it. So like if you're under stress, you're going to act differently than you may act differently than you normally do, and that's a helpful thing to know when you're doing work like you're doing. How am I going to react when I have 6 kids and a mad adult coming at me, as opposed to how am I going to be when we're sitting around and doing just planning? 2 different kinds of things happen. Can be different, so that's why it's helpful to know.
And it's helpful to know that too about the other 3 people I was working with, because I knew what was gonna. By the end of the summer, I knew what was gonna happen when presented with a given situation. I knew how each of them was gonna respond, so I knew how to prepare the necessary people when given situations arise. I knew how to prepare other people that would have to deal with that individual.
Yeah. My personality type is don't cross me. Yeah. I know that about myself, so it's the kind of thing you gotta watch out for. And when you're working in a group, you need to know who you can work with in a tight spot and who's not gonna be helpful.
Yeah.
Are you lifelong friends with the 3 others now, or not, have you been in contact much since?
The only one that I am in contact with is the materials manager. I struggled to get along with the other 2 of us, just didn't mesh super well, and our relationships were rocky all summer. But I mean, they ended okay, but it was what it is.
And you worked all right together.
And we worked together, and when we didn't, we worked that out as well to try to make it better for the next camp, and that was definitely a bumpy ride. But the materials manager and I were probably the closest, but we also worked the closest, so our jobs aligned the most, where we'd have to communicate the most. So that kind of was where that came in. But yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, I'm very impressed.
Good for you.
I'm proud of you. Wow.
Our crew is really good, but you're talking about what your week was like and what you did, and I think back on what our staff was about, and I realized, they put up with a lot. And were pleasant all the time.
Your crew manager was my trainer.
Who's that?
Linnea.
Oh yeah.
She was my trainer. So.
Yeah.
But I don't remember what particular, but we have group chats within like this group chats within like the crew managers, so we hear about each other's problems. So I'm sure I heard something about whatever.
She's got inside information on
Yeah.
Good for you, thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you, Emma. That was wonderful.
Wow.